That's what you get with like one day of no rain. I should take some water out there and help it along. It's not in any danger because there's going to be rain. Probably tonight it'll rain again. But just we've had maybe one and a half really hot days, and that tree is shriveling up. Okay, here we go. You know where we're at? I guess we have a shout out on our. I just got a Skype call 4 or 5 minutes ago from my mother. It seems like they're having a get together. She's over at my daughter's place, I guess. But I couldn't talk to her because the microphone's all connected to the streaming cameras, so the Skype can't pick up the audio. So if you're there, Mom and the kids, sorry about the lack of connection. Have fun. It's probably the biggest family get-together that's been happening in over a year, I guess. I just got a quick glimpse on the camera. I saw my mother's face go by. My 2 daughters are there. It could be all 4 grandchildren. Craig was there. No idea. James too. No idea. It could be quite the get-together. Whenever I'll get over there, no idea. Yes, the detectives are at work. Sherlock Flyfish is at work here. Dave is masked, so yes. Sugi-san is here this morning. Otherwise, I would not be bothering with this. So, okay, you know what we're doing here. You know what's up. It's printing on the cranes. I can say test printing. I don't know. Still keep it as a test. I don't know. I did some block adjustments after the printing the other day. We did the quick tests the other day just to get to see if the blocks were going to work on layout, and I've made a few changes. I trimmed the red cap on the top, and I trimmed part of the background block without getting into a huge long explanation. This is the planed down block, so when I planed it down, the corners became better, but it also became larger, so I had to cut off about 2 millimeters of the background on one side. Otherwise the finished prints won't fit inside our packaging. This goes in what we call our Hunger Club packaging, and it's cut to the millimeter. Those prints fit on backboards and go in envelopes. Someone's asking, is the paper out? If it isn't, you'd have heard about it by now. But she left a message on the fridge door, the freezer door this morning. She said she'll be in, but there's no paper to remove. And what she did was she finished up her previous print yesterday, and it's in the drying boards. So today for her, it's paper preparation and stuff for the next one. So there's no paper to take out today. So she tells me.いつですか？
9月の7日。
7日、じゃああと1週間後。
あとそうですね。
いや、あんまりひどいレポートなかったんでしょ。
あゆみさんがなんか9月2日の月曜日に1回目って言った。
あゆみさんといえば柴さん？大橋さん。
大橋さんが。
Tom says, I thought you were using Taran-san's blocks. We are. It's a mix. We're keeping these two. We've kept the Kadazuri block and the background block because that would plane easily. But all the rest of the blocks in the set are going to be the ones that Taran-san has put together for us. So far this is water. This is just water. I'm just kidding. I had forgotten to wash my brush actually, and the brush is still stiff from last time. So. Just water, warming up the block, warming up the brush. Just a minute. Lots of Germans are we here? Those prints you saw me do here on Thursday, they are gone. They're in Ome now. They're packing and ready to fly out around the world. So Okay, that can warm up, soften up. Let's get the paste ready. This is the leftover paste from the onsen print the other day. Let's freshen it up. Who's talking about cheating to saturate the brush? We use these little bottles, you know, they're so handy, they're so cool. They're of course not traditional. The traditional way that the guys do this is you've got your water bucket on your brush and you take your brush and you shake some water in. It works, whatever. For me, this one is just perfectly accurate. We get exactly as much as we want, no more, no less. Still a bit too thick. You're supposed to soak your brushes 20 minutes before printing, or so some guy says in his ebook. Did I say that? I don't believe that at all. Not at all. If you have washed your brushes carefully, I'm not sure I believe this quote. If you have washed your brushes carefully last time and then hung them up, they're on the rack now, nice and beautiful and soft, and I would not now ever moisten it before starting down. I would bring the soft brush ready, get it to the block here, and then I would start doing exactly what I'm doing now. A bit of moisture on the wood, rub the brush around it, a bit of paste on the thing, no pigment yet, to charge it up. I would never moisten the brush, soak it before I started. Who we got here? Somebody says Andre 7684. That must be grandchild number 1, 2. I got them all in order now. How's my breath? Horrible. Andre is one of the grandchildren, so I guess they're watching in from there's a household get-together. Andre, give me the poop. Who's there today? Is everybody there? Is all the kids there? Craig, James, everybody's in? Is there some event happening? August, is it somebody's birthday? What have I forgotten? It was my brother's birthday a couple of days ago, but no. Corey, leave him alone. I think he's okay. When he said grandpa, it's literally grandpa, so it's okay. Why am I wearing a mask? Is this a lady in the room with me here? It's okay. Andre says, huge party. Oh, take some pictures later. Don't ask about my hair. The lady who does it was hospitalized this month, and I'm torn between going to somebody else and incurring her wrath or waiting till she gets out of the hospital. She had a heart operation, and I think she said when she left in what was it, early July, she said, I'll see you again in September. So I've just been waiting, and September is like next week, so we'll see. Okay, let's try an impression here. What we got? We've got, I don't know, a dozen sheets or so of paper. This is still sort of a small test run. I'm not here doing hundreds of prints on this. We'll do a dozen or so. Once I do confirm that the block's okay and I've got the color I want, the color the other day was the wrong color. It was way too reddish. We need something a bit more like vermilion. So once we've got it worked out for the colors and stuff, I will then pass the blocks over to the gang. Suga-san will be doing a bunch of them. Dei-chan, they'll all do a bunch. We'll do 50, 60 each. Time for a French twist. I don't know what that means. Somebody has to fill me in on that. Sugi-san、みんなもうこの長すぎですからなんかやってください。そう。
確かに伸びてるね。
だから青梅の安倍さんが入院したんでしょ。そう。
どうする？
そうだからもう彼女は9月から OK です。だから僕今ずっと頑張ったんだよ。我慢したんでしょ。
あ、そうか。
9月でしょ。だから来週大丈夫。
来週か。
そう。
あ、じゃあもうちょっとの我慢か。
わからないね。9月はそう。
ね、そうだよね。9月。あともうちょっと入院しちゃった。
いや結構厳しい手術だったよ。
あ、そうなの？
心臓の部分を取り替える。結構厳しかったよ。そう。
なんか入ってるんですか？ここに機械とか入ってない？
入ってないみたいですよ。ただのなんていうの？
血管が
わかんない。棒であるものを交換ですね。そう。だからロボットになりますね。なんていうの？サイボーグ。
サイボーグだ。お孫ちゃん見てるの？
そう。今アンドレが来たんですね。そう。Let's give this a try. We've got some of the normal whole show paper here. I've chosen a really, really thick one, our thickest batch, which is plus minus. It's plus because the karazuri, the embossing at the end of it, will look really thick and fluffy, but it's of course minus because the other colors have to be really pressed very carefully. And I don't know if we're going to need the backing paper. It's ready, standing by. Let's see. This might be okay. One way to find out. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I think. Let's try it just a sec here. This paper is soft. Because it's so thick. We are going to be okay. Nothing to it. Let's roll. Okay, the next half hour or so is not going to be all that interesting, but let's do this. I see no more messages from... Ouch. 今頭？
頭じゃない。大丈夫。失礼しました。危ない。
I thought that was her head. No, it was the package of prints.いや、いい紙竹投げですが分厚い。だからカルゼリが綺麗になりますよ。
そうだ。これカラゼリありましたね。
そうこのものでしょ。だから最後のカルゼリのために。
そこね。
そう。で昨日紙を準備した時に考えたんですから、じゃあ錦板使おうかな。そうするとみんなの目の前にすぐすりができますから。でもカルゼリは無理です。
そうだね。スムーズにいくけど、カラゼリがあんまり目立たなくなってる。
この作品の目的がそのものでしょ。
でもみんなでするときは大ビルでするんじゃない？
今の考えは大ビルですね。そうその今竹投げです。
だって量が多いとちょっと竹投げ厳しいよね。
まあでも ふわふわでしょ。
まあね、物は綺麗に見えるけどしょうがないね。
No, those onsen prints didn't get done on thick paper because that was just a group of test paper. This is actually a group now of edition paper for this. Those onsen prints the other day were just on a normal average paper, nothing especially thick at all. I really don't like using this stuff. You can't see what's going on. You can't see if you've missed a spot. And the balance of the gray we've got here now, we've got the two. I've got a light gray and I've got water. And I'm just looking at each print as it comes off. Is it getting a bit too dark, a bit too light? And I'll balance the gray and the water depending on that. You just can't see. When you've got gray by itself, black, you can't tell how thick and deep and dark it is because it's black. It's only after it comes off and you see what you've done, you adjust the next one accordingly. Also, I'm nowhere near the middle of this bench. I don't quite know why I'm doing that. I'm stuck at one side. I miss my own bench, you know, back there in Ome. I really miss my bench. The backing sheet. Should I tell the real story or not? I don't know. Embarrassing, kind of. Why the backing sheet? We should tell the story. What's going on? There's two things going on here. One, the paper is actually a bit wet. I moistened it last night. Bang, 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 bang. It's thick paper. I dumped a ton of water on it, and it is a little bit wet, and the back might abrade if I wasn't careful. By the time we get to the next color, it should have settled down, but at the moment it is a bit too wet. But that's only half the story. The other half of the story is this. This is not in great condition. This is starting to show pops, and actually, I shouldn't be telling anybody this, but if we do some reflection here, can you see it? Whoever used this Baron last, whichever one of the team here was using it last, it started to pop holes in it, and they put some tape on. Do you see it across there? Tape. Don't tell anybody, okay? And what's happening is the tape picks up at the edge, right here, look. And that'll catch on the back of the paper, and bang, off you go. So don't ever do this. The thing here is, this is actually, it's a half funny story. It needs a new skin. And whoever used this last, and there's three of them up here working all the time. Whoever used this last should actually have been a good boy, a good girl, whichever one of them it was, whoever used this last should have, when they got to the edge of that batch of prints, end of that batch of prints, they should have recovered this, ready for the next time. And if I was going to be sort of a really strict, grumpy workshop, blah, 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 okay, who's responsible for this, blah, 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 blah. But honestly speaking, I'm just as guilty of this stuff as they are. There's so much going on here. You get to the end of your job, get out of here, go back tomorrow, and it just gets postponed, postponed, postponed. And what will happen now is when somebody sits down to do their job, if I had sat down here, in fact, if I was making 50, 60, 70 of these, I would now have to recover this, because there's no way this is going to last that long, even with the backing sheet or no. And once it starts to affect the job, then there's no way, of course, nobody can accept that. So I don't know, is there a workshop in the world where nobody actually skimps a little bit and uses tape for the last few minutes to make it extend? I don't know. When I was a kid, when I was a beginner, absolutely I did that. I didn't have any idea what to do. So there was tape on mine at the beginning. To see it here in a professional workshop, whatever, it's not really something we should see, but couldn't be the same person who puts tape on their carving knife. I don't work up here. I see, I've got myself into a corner now, and I guess we need a barren recovering stream, I guess, whatever. Not today, I'm not set up for it today, but maybe next week, or maybe it's Monday, I don't know, who knows. That will be fun, actually. The thing about doing barren recovering on stream, though, you know, there's no way, like even now when I'm printing here, I print a little bit, chat with you a bit, print with you, chat with you a little bit. If we're recovering the barren, it's absolutely impossible to do that. You get that skin, you get it exactly moist, and as you're doing it, it's drying out like crazy. And you've got to just go, 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 and every second counts, literally every second counts. And there's no way you can sit there and chat and explain and pick it up and say, see, here's how we do it. You can't do that. I made a video of this for that ebook a long time ago, and the video that you're seeing there is a compilation, because there's no way you can do it and stop and do it and stop and show and close up and do it and stop. Has Terry got a video here? To see Terry McKenna cover a barren. Good. I think there's lots of them on the net these days. I know Cameron and Sugi-san have got one planned in our own series coming up. I think they've already actually shot it. Sugi-san, バレンツ包むビデオ、キャメロンと作った？これから。絶対キャメロンが行く前、絶対でしょ、いろいろ。そう、だからコロナでしょ。彼が絶対家から出たくないよ。だからもう終わりかもしれないよ。ね。そうかもしれない。If Tarankan is here, the question about whether the block would be making marks, it seems we're totally okay. There is a tiny bit of wood grain visible, but nothing that's bad for the print. So another one, Goto-san demonstrating videos. So my video is up there, Terry's is up there, Goto-san's is up there. So there's lots of choices now, lots of chances to see this happen, Let me get my link for mine. Hang on, if we're sharing these Baron links, let's get them all together in one place. Hang on one sec. This is a good idea. Where are we here? Okay, here's mine. Oops, Japanese, English, tape. Hey, good, they've got a bunch of links here. Great. So Terry's is here, Goto-san's here, mine's here. This is good. This is good. How often do they get recovered? There's no single word to do this. It depends on how thick the paper is, how wide the block is. There can even be a case where if there's one or two little ways the wood is cut here, it tends to hit more and wear it out more quickly. There's no single answer. When I was doing the moon print in my Solitude series, I would have started work in the morning, tied it again at noon, and tied it again in the afternoon, because that would destroy your Baron skein. So twice a day in that case. There's absolutely no single on a rule here. Some of our Barons, the one we've got here, this is the famous Murata-san Baron. This was covered once when I first got it, and I don't think it's been recovered since then, because this inside is a flat. It's totally, absolutely, completely flat. It's got a coil. It's a wound coil, but it's so dull. This is the one for printing the hairlines and stuff, and we're going to use it on this block for printing that little single one dot of red. And I don't think it's ever been recovered. This looks like Ayumi-san. So yeah, 10 years, maybe. Done in 1 hour, maybe. The standard lawyer answer, it depends. So, or no comment, or whatever. Can we tell who did it by the way it's tied? Absolutely we can tell who did it by the way it's tied. Absolutely. Can I recognize every printer in the country by looking at their Barons? No, of course not. But I mean, in our group here, that one is clearly Ayumi-san. Absolutely clearly Ayumi-san, the way she ties the thing. She also hasn't, she's a young girl. She doesn't have enough strength. She should have pulled it in. She's got the loops. Look at my knuckles here. She's got it here. She should have pulled it tighter. That should have been locked tight. But she doesn't actually have enough physical strength to do that. So there's a gap underneath here. That's Ayumi-san. Very neat, very clean. All the corners very nice. Well, three out of the 4. Didn't get the 4th one. That's Ayumi-san. Absolutely, that's Ayumi-san. Oh. I think getting a bit too dark, actually. I'm not chatting too much. Getting a bit dark. Someone's talking about Dave recovering the Baron. I am not the Tom Brady of Baron covering. Absolutely, I'm not that good at it at all. I'm okay. I get by. I can do it functionally, but I am not. I'm no hero. Again, the same reason, I just don't do enough printing. I know that video I just showed you, the video of me tying it. If you get to the very end of the video, you'll see that the two sides here, the thickness of left side and right side, the thicknesses are different. So I got it a bit too thin here and a bit too heavy here, and as a result, the coil tips over at the top. The thing works, it's functional, but it doesn't look nice and balanced. Seeing that knot on Ayumi-san's barren now that it's a bit too weak, it reminds me, one of the first times I met Seki-san, the guy in Hachioji. He had seen a newspaper story about me, called me up, I went to visit him. I took some of my stuff, and he was kind of proud of his skills, and he was really a show-off. It was okay. He was in that sense, he did share. So he shared his information to an extent, but he was really a show-off, which was sometimes it was okay, and sometimes it was a bit overbearing. And I remember it wasn't maybe the first time or one of the times I had taken my barren to him, and it wasn't like this. It was really way too loose here. When you try and pick it up, you've got to be able to put karum. You've got to squeeze it. Hers is a little bit too loose, I shouldn't use hers as an example. This one's better. You put your fingers underneath it, and now I don't just carry it like this. You squeeze it. And you print with squeezing to pull that skin tight like a drum. So I had taken in my barren, and it was really loose here, and when he tried to grab it and squeeze it, the string just pulled off because it was just so loose. So he just grabs it and the string comes up, and he looks at me, and I look at him and saying, well, now we can't test this, we've broken it, And what he does is, it's already been cut here. He just sticks it in his mouth, moistens up the bamboo, twists it with his fingers, grabs the skin, bang, there it is. And within literally like 20, 25, 30 seconds, he had retied it as tight as I could ever possibly imagine it. And that's without the leftover barren skin that you normally use to hold it with, He was a show-off, a real show-off, and it's okay. It was by watching that show, Soka, I learned some stuff, He's gone now, it's too bad. He was a really, really spectacularly skillful printer, He got kicked around a lot when he was a kid, really got kicked around, and he turned into a guy that says, screw you, I don't care what you think. But boy, oh boy, he was a printer. My God, he was a printer. Nobody here speaks highly of him. If his name comes up in any of the craftsmen's discussions, silence. Nobody speaks highly of him. He was a show-off. He was too good. He was dishonest in his business dealings. Nobody likes the guy. And he was a black sheep. And when he died, there would have been, I didn't even know about it, so I didn't hear about it, but when he died, nobody would have gone to his funeral. So. But my God, the guy could print, and I learned a whole lot of stuff from him. I was the perfect audience for him, because I was inexperienced. I didn't know what was going on. I wanted to learn this stuff. And when he was showing off this stuff, I'm all, ooh, ah, wow, cool, So I was the perfect audience for him. And it's fine. It benefited me. he got his jollies. I learned a lot of stuff, so it was fine. I should have spent more time with him, but I didn't. He was a busy guy. I was a busy guy. In the early time, I went out there to his place in Hachioji a few times, and on a few occasions I did. I called him up. I'm stuck. What should I do? He says, come on over. So I did, Someone's asking, are the barons we're using available in the US? Yes, they're available all over the place, absolutely. I know there's a few places you can get them. There's a place here in Tokyo that ships overseas called Matsumura. If you Google up wood like Matsumura is one place. There's a shop in Oregon which stocks these handmade barons. They are expensive, very expensive. And I don't know if Goto-san has a website that's accessible in English. I don't know. If you're thinking about learning woodblock printmaking, you don't need a $1,000 baron to start. You can get a $10 one to start and give you some ideas about it. So when you look up these prices, don't get shocked and think that you have to spend thousands of dollars to try this. You don't. We are using Pro Tools, but you don't need to start with Pro Tools.今この話続きですね。本当になぜ僕はしょうがない。はい。もうこれを説明しましたよ。
あ、本当は説明したの。
そう。私この工房のあるすり師。
はい。
先日終わったんです。その方ですね。誰か名前が言えなかった。
誰だろう。
In case you're wondering, I was talking about the girls who were doing this. Who left the tape on this? I do have to add one more thing. Suga-san doesn't use the workshop barons. We've got our barons in a box there. Suga-san has her own tray of barons. Actually, Suga-san, この引き出しを取ることできますか？だからパッもしこのカメラの前にそのままできますか？ Oh, look at this. We can do this. This is her drawer. This is Suga-san's baron drawer. And you will never see anything like this in your life. ちょっと触っていいですか? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, tape. No tape here. No tape here. The 10. It's a fabulous collection. Oh, okay. Inside. Okay. She's partway through building one. さっきの久保田さんの話とか、内緒ですか？
大丈夫です。
そうですか。どこまでかわからない。Okay. Here's one partway through. You've heard me talk about Kubota-san. Kubota-san was her shisho, her master. She learned from him over at Adachi. And he's working for us too. And he, in his evenings, because he's got nothing to do, in his evenings, he's working making barons. He sits there watching TV, doing the barons. And what he does is he gets it to this point, he passes it over to Suga-san, and she ties it up and gets it ready for the customer. So if you order a baron from that page somebody listed here, Matsumura, wood-like Matsumura barons, they are all made by Kubota-san, and they come, their final step comes here through Suga-san. Hi, thank you, Suga-san.
はい、どうも。
バレンクッキー。
バレンクッキー作る。そうだ。いつ作るんだそれ。
I don't know. I've got enough things. She's asked me when are the cookies going to be ready, and like, give me a break. I have enough stuff on my plate. Is that Baron Kikuhide? No, Matsumura-san has changed. This is news to me when I got the new Matsumura catalog this year. up to now, for many years, 10, 15 years, Matsumura-san has had barons, home barons, made by Goto-san, whose brand name is Kikuhide. But from the most recent catalog, the barons in Matsumura-san's catalog are all made by Kubota-san, the guy who is printing for us, and as we said, Suge-san is working with him to finish him off. このストーリーわかりますか？だから松村さんが数十年の間に後藤さんのバラのページでしょ。で今年から後藤さんのページがなくなった久保田さんのページが入ったんです。いろいろ話やり今まではもうないです。今キクヒデの本番全くないです。もう松村さんのカタログに久保田のものしかないんです。紫の方がキクヒデ、本番はないです。だから彼が後藤さんが辞めちゃったか松村さんとあったか分からない。何もない。Okay, no, she doesn't know why. She's working with Kubota-san, but she doesn't know the backstory either, so I don't know. Yeah, Woodlike has the Murasaki barons from Goto-san. That's the sort of middle student level barons. But the home baron, that page is gone. And it's been in his catalog for many years. All the home baron were by Goto-san. And this year, they're not. And I don't know the backstory. And Dave is trying to print, but whatever. What did I do with it? I lost it. But did I put it in your drawer? Oh, here it is. Okay, got it. Okay. I lost stuff. I thought I put it back in your drawer by mistake.今バレの話ばっかりしてみんなはこのテープを見てデイビッドカメラの前についてください。
そんなこと言う人がいるの？
もちろん、もちろんの考えでしょ。僕もその考えありますよ。今日は無理ですが、で問題は止まることできないでしょ。こうやって説明できないでしょ。そう。杉さん、you know, the idea of tying a baron on stream, she's just like, she's already no. You just can't do it.
それは厳しい。
Part of the problem is your hands are there, you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this and nobody can see anything. And then if you try and stop and let the camera see what's going on, the thing dries out and you're dead. So that's why the video I made was done with cut, different cuts, and it's a mix of different things. You do it once with all the scrambling so that you can cut the video and then start it again, throw it away and start it again. Excuses. After you, sir.
そういえばいつの間にかデビッドさんここカットしてくれたんだ。ここの内側のやつね。
そうです。レイちゃんとちょっとエピソードあったんですが。エピソード？エピソード何？そうなの？なんかこれさいつの間これなんかすったらさカットしたよね。 カットしました。
いいの？違ってもしょうがないよね。
だからレイちゃんのグループ全部？
もうレイちゃんの部分
もちろんテスト終わってからカットしましたよ。
そうか。じゃあ同じ
でしょ。そうないと違う。
そうおかしいもんね。よかった。
でもエピソードですね。レイちゃんがデイビッド。
言ってた。
だ から、しましょうかで、私、はい、じゃあやりましょう。彼女に、私に渡した、カットしてください。で、僕、カットする前に鉛筆でちょっと、これ、どうですか？レイちゃんの顔が。僕、じゃあいいです。じゃあ自分で書いてください。じゃあレイちゃん消して、自分で書いて、僕は、はい、彫ったんです。
あ、そうなの？レイちゃん。
I'm lying here to say it.
レイちゃん気に入らなかったんだ。
そう
なんだ。
そう。
じゃあちゃんとカットされてるね。丸がちゃんと均等になってる。あ、おかしい。どうした？じゃあこれはミスター黒田。
I'm missing lots and lots of conversation here. What's this? Crack walnuts with my fingers? You gotta be kidding. I have no. I have no muscle power in any part of my body whatsoever. I am the ultimate weakling. Absolutely the ultimate weakling. As are we all here. This is really interesting. It's a physical, repetitive work, and it doesn't build muscles. I'm a lefty. Even when I was doing this 8-10 hours a day, I never got anything. I can't take this off. I have nothing. I have no upper body strength, no biceps, no fingers, no nothing. It doesn't build muscle. Because we've got it set up so the tools pushed by your body weight, they do the work. There's no specific muscle group that's doing this. It's really, somebody should write a book about this because there's really something profound in there. The Westerners all talk about RSI and repetitive strains and muscle problems and posture problems and this and that. And the Japanese craftsmen in this field just sail right through it. There was one in the past, the knee thing, because they sat cross-legged. It destroyed their knees. But now that we don't do that, no. We're all weaklings here.すぐさん、今の話はコメントがやっぱりデイビッドが今バランス積むとかハケとかいろいろじゃあデイビッドの指が結構強いとか、パワーありますねとか、そんなことないですね。もちろんそんなこと僕だけじゃなくてスミシというものすぐさんもパワーレイディですか？
そんな細い。
そう、she's saying she's just a skinny lady, nothing, you know. 筋肉にならない仕事です。でも海外から見ると、向こうから見ると、ガチ仕事でしょ。よく体が使いますから、やっぱり筋肉が増える。でもそうじゃない、道具がやってますよ。筋肉じゃないでしょ。本当に面白いコンセプト。
みんな不思議に。見てると違うになっちゃったらわからない。これじゃあミスタークッカ
Someone says, imagine how easier it would be if you're buff. You should have been, whatever, the Yoshida studio when I first got here in Japan, 1986, whatever. I went to the Yoshida studio. And I was there for 2 or 3 months before I left. And they had a big table in the middle of the printer's room. There's one printer at one side and another printer at the other side working on their own stuff. And every now and then Yoshida used to do really, really large prints. He did one that was an eagle. He did a print of an eagle and it's about double size of a tatami. Twice the size of a tatami. And these two printers did that stuff. And one of the printers, Hamano-san, only had one arm. He was congenitally something, whatever. He only had one arm. The other guy, Komatsu-san, was skinnier than me, shorter than me, smaller than me, weaker than me. And these two guys massacred this stuff. They just printed. It's nothing about muscles. It's really bizarre. It's nothing to do with muscles. Maybe, and I'm going to stick my neck out a little bit here and make an analogy that might not be quite perfect, but I think it's close. If you think about golf, world of golf, I've never been a golfer. I know nothing about it in detail and stuff like this. But golf, this idea that you got to use this tool and take this ball, and you've got to hit it as far as you can. And if you can hit it farther, it's better. You get closer to the hole, and you're going to win a lot of games. But yet, that's not how it works. I can't say they're all skinny guys, but it's not a question of bodybuilding. It's not bodybuilders that are good golf players. John's saying I missed out on the last 25 years of golf. Okay, maybe so. I know, whatever. As I said, I'm not an expert on that at all. But I would wager that it's nothing to do with massive biceps. It's like in the old video I put up years ago, whatever. Right? Anyway, I'm living proof of it. I've made tens and tens and tens of thousands of prints, and I have no biceps. Zero. Nothing.あった。じゃあ次は久保田ですね。この辺かな。
ミスター久保田で。What do we got left here? There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. What's the time? Jeb, we'll run through this. I'll keep going. We'll run through this.
Is there a haircut command yet? I told you, do you know the haircut story? There's a bit of a story behind it, you know. I'm waiting to get my haircut. I would really like to get my haircut. The lady who does it out in Ome and who has asked me, please don't go anywhere else. The lady who does it for me was hospitalized last month in a serious hospitalization, nothing to do with the virus. She has a heart situation. And she said, I'll see you in September. So I said, okay, I'll see you in September. So we're waiting, you know. So we can laugh about this. It's all really cool. Ha ha ha. But you know, she will have mixed feelings. When I see her next week or the week after, she will have mixed feelings. She's a sensible woman. And she will say, why didn't you go and get it cut? This is stupid to wait so long, you know. And I will do my little, well, you said that wasn't such a good idea. And she said, but this is special. We'll have a little conversation. We know exactly how it's going to go. And she'll be happy that I waited and whatever. So it's okay. It doesn't matter, you know. She'll be partly happy, partly embarrassed, you know. Keep the bald spot, like I can do anything about that. Where is it? Somewhere around here. I guess I never thought about that. I spend most of my day here turning to face the bald spot to the camera, do I? She likes me coming over there, you know, because I'm different. All her normal work is just the local Japanese housewives from the neighborhood. And it's all just color, dye, black. That's all she does all day long, is all the little old ladies getting their hair dyed black. That's her life these days. So for me to come along, it's okay. She enjoys this. And my God, she just, you know, I usually let it go too long, and she just gets her shears out, and there's this massive pile of hair on the floor. And she always makes the same joke, I think I'll sell it today, or something like this, you know. brushes here are horsehair, for those curious. All these brushes we're using, this is horsehair. The good ones are a blend of horse. Summer horse, winter horse, tail, mane, brown, black. There's a good variety of different stiffnesses. So the good makers, this is Sekine-san, they blend it. I wouldn't have any idea. In the old days, the printers could ask for a blend. That Mr. Printer, like Seki-san, the printer I mentioned, he knew Sekine-san. And he would have called him, like he must have called up Sekine-san and said, I need a bunch more 3.5 brushes, X length. And Sekine-san would have known what Seki-san wants. And he would have got his hair. He's got, like I said, the summer hair, the winter hair, stiff, mild, whatever. And these brushes we've got here, the ones left over from Sekine-san, they are our best brushes, absolutely. And we're going to lose them. They die. They get shorter and shorter and shorter, bit by bit. So brushes don't last forever. And, actually, speaking about brushes to show, I prepared. There was a conversation the other day about this. Remember the conversation on the stream here a while back? Where did it come from? Somebody made a YouTube comment about one of our brushes. I had said something like, oh yeah, it was because of the YouTube video, the brushes were wearing out my block for the Great Wave. And some guy who thinks he understands this says, no, it's okay, just use some soft brushes. He said, like I do, and then your blocks won't wear out. I'm not going to fight with him, but the point being, if the brushes are too soft, the pigment doesn't spread out easily. The brushes have to be fairly stiff in order for the pigment to spread, but they need a soft tip in order that there's no lines from the brush. And these brushes we're using like this, they only come from the Meiji time. Meiji でしょ? Sugu-san, この丸バケでしょ? 明治大正
明治大正昭和明治
でしょこの丸バケが始まったでしょその前に全部手バケでしょそうだから江戸時代に残った版画の工房の図があったら全部この手バケですねそう使ったことありますか
いやそんな大きいのはない
だから小さいもの私たちは全部 We can use, I should switch to English We use these, long story short The marubake, the round brushes we use come from only the Meiji time Back in the old Edo time all the prints, the famous Utamaro, Hokusai, Hiroshiki prints that we know were not made with these brushes They were made with this style of brush where instead of the hair being in small clumps there's clump with white space in between them In the old days, it was made with these brushes that were made of a single massive clump of hair tied together. And that's what the old guys used to use. This is known in the industry here, that the changeover happened in the Meiji time. And once they saw these, they never went back. And we still use small ones of these because they're manageable. You put a bit of pigment on this. This is what I used for the hair on the girl in the onsen yesterday. But big ones, we've tried this. Nobody these days knows how to make it work. None of the printers in town today, none of them use these. And yet in the old days, that's all there was. And when I first came here, I heard this story, I thought, okay, that's it for me. None of this modern stuff. I'm going to do it just the way it was in the old days. I got some of these. There's still one left here. And I could not make it work. And I still, well, I gave up years ago, but I still can't make it work. 使ったことありますか？ないですか？試したことない？
試してもないね。
でも
大きいの使ったことない。
江戸時代全部その形よ。
これでやってたんだ。
そうです。
じゃあちょっと使いにくいよね。なんかブラシなんかこれで慣れちゃうとこっちで慣れちゃうとそっちの手間
ですが、だから毛と間ありますね。間ありますよ。だからもう半分ぐらいしかないでしょ。もう半分以上、3分の1ぐらい。On the new one, it's in clumps, and the clumps are patterned. So maybe only about 1/3 of the brush is actually hair. about 2/3 of it is empty space between the hair clumps. On this one, it's 100% wall-to-wall hair. Let's try it. I just, whatever, I could never, ever make it work.
使いやすいそっちの方がね。
No, だから僕日本に来た時、やっぱり現代のもの嫌だ。江戸時代の方が良かったよとか、そのニュース聞いて、OK、はい、いくつか買って、用意して、
やってみた
んですが、全然何もできない。
そうか。
伸ばせないです。やると絵の具が取る。
そう。なんかすごい詰まってて、ギューってなってるから絵の具が。
So, when you think about this, you got your brush, whatever, at home. You've got your dirt on the floor, and you got a brush. What's the purpose of the brush? The brush is not to spread the dirt around on the floor. The brush is to take the dirt off the floor, sweep it away. So what are we doing with our brushes? Our brushes, we are trying to spread the dirt on the floor in a smooth, even way. We're not trying to take the dirt off the floor. And that's what I found when I tried these brushes. I haven't tried this now for 25 years or more. When I tried these, I found it took the dirt off the floor. It left next to nothing on the block. Let's do this just for fun. It's just a piece of paper. There's another reason why this is not a good accurate test. It's because I'm using a pigment paste mix that suits this kind of brush. It could be a completely different. It could be way more paste, way less paste, way thicker pigment, way thinner pigment. We don't know. So I'm just using the same mix that I've got on the bench here, and I'm brushing out the same way, and this is probably all completely wrong. My God, it feels strange. Now let's try it. Sacrificial piece of paper. Well, sort of as expected brush strokes, because I don't know what I'm doing. A lump, something's left. This is mottled here. Too much water in this zone. Look at that. Too much water here. Again, brush strokes and modeling. So it's not really fair just to pick up one brush and try and use it. The point being, it has its own different way of doing things. ね。すぐさんね。この部分水多かったハケ筋だから使い方わからないだから丸ばけのようなのり丸ばきのような絵の具丸ばきにぴったりですこのハケに合わないみたいですだからのりが薄めかのりなしかどの方法か
ちょっとね
So it's not a fair test, like it's saying this works, that doesn't work, because I'm using the setup that's designed for this brush. It's another one of those things, we've talked about many topics like this, it's one of those things that needs research. It needs some people to sit in a room and try this and try this and try this and try this and try and figure out how it works.
ここがピッてこう線が出ちゃうね。
ハケ筋出やすいでしょ。
出やすいね。
でも全くその形よ。江戸時代だけじゃない。もう江戸時代までこれしかなかったんです。で戦後の足立のビデオにも村田さんのここにぶら下がってますよ。大きいものです。これ小さいものだけじゃなくて大きいものパッパッパッパッパッ。村田さんと浜野さんですね。そう若い時で。
若い時ね。
で今聞く人いないですよ。
そうだね。みんな死んじゃった。みんな死んじゃったよ。
久保田かなんかわかるかな。
久保田さんは見てるかもね。村田さんの知ってるところ知ってるから。
今度聞いてください。
うん、聞いてみよう。
すり方はどのすり方ですか。
そう。
Oh, look at this. 次のもの。だから。
残ってたこれが。
そうか。Look at this. So we spoiled 2 sheets, not just 1 sheet. Look at this.
残ってる。
There was stuff left over from the previous one. Yay.
これが残ってる。
そうか。So 2 sheets of paper down the drain here. Oh well. That's fine. They will do as tests for the next color. So.
そうか。やっぱ手書きでそうだね。昔は。
Oh, that's the last sheet. That's the end of my paper. Soka. That's the end. What's our time? 9:11. All right, 9:11. Okay. Good. We've come to the end of our printing here. All right, show and tell. We have the continuation of the show and tell that's been with us for a month or so now. We've got a little black book that we are working through and looking at. But before I do that, I have an actual package. I have... Destroy the workshop. I have actually a package to open, so let's have a look at this first. How are we going to do this? Okay. Last minutes of the stream here, the last 15 some minutes of the stream. For those of you who don't know, we've got a bit of a different setup here. Clear the decks. If only I had a knife. I do have a knife. No, the play button, we're talking about the play button the other day. I really want to make a nice video about that. And if we go back 2 or 3 weeks to when the play button arrived, I prepared a plan for the Mokuhankan staff, a group of the staff, to open the play button together. We were going to do a video, me, Suga-san, Cameron, a bunch of stuff together. We prepared a little script. We were going to go to Kaminarimon, blah, 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 blah. We got totally, absolutely rained out. We weren't able to do it. We tried to schedule it once with all the people coming in, got rained out. We tried to schedule it again, got not rained out, we got sunned out. So the YouTube play button is waiting for me now to figure out plan B. I want to make a nice video that respects the other staff members here. I didn't want to just sit there by myself and open the play button. Hi, thank you, look at this, I'm such a genius. I wanted to make sure the other staff members were part of that. And that's been the problem. We haven't figured out a way, in the middle of this stupid pandemic, we haven't been able to figure out a way to get the other staff members on board. So just hang on there. It is coming. There's no rush. This one, I remember now. Soka. This is Hiroshige stuff. These are funny prints. Let's have a look at some of these. These are funny prints. This is Hiroshige or / Hiroshige 2. We are looking at the 1860s maybe, or the 1870s, somewhere around there. We have a bunch of small sketchbooks done by Hiroshige based on scenes of Tokyo, Edo Meisho, the usual hot topic for him, common famous scenes in Tokyo. And he did them as just simply sketches. It's kind of like what we saw a few weeks ago. Remember, he did a sketch of the Fujisawa print and somebody else turned it into a color print. Well, these are a bunch of those prints left over. And yes, they're from the original time. Somebody has mounted them. Yeah, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is not great art, and it is not great woodblock printmaking. These are prints from the 1860s or 1870s, based on designs in Hiroshige's sketchbook. And some of them are passable, nice, and some of them are, you are just going to laugh and laugh and laugh. They're in a random order here. Some Yahoo auction person got a bunch of them, put them up, and we will be probably putting these into the flea market, I think. We might keep one or two for ourselves, and we'll put them in the flea market. And this series is famous, absolutely famous for being huge amounts of open space. Japanese prints are noted for the white, not the white balance, the balance of the wide open space, sort of like this. You see nothing strange about this. If I didn't say anything about this, you probably wouldn't even think anything special about it. But as we go through this stack, these are the famous Hiroshige stick figures. When we look closely, and we do, there's a castle in the background, there's some kind of highway, people selling snacks and tea and whatever, and the travelers going by. So it's one of the old roads. Nothing wrong with it. A nice, pleasant little thing. Why they felt it necessary to have so much open space there, I don't know. But let's go through this, because what's coming up, here's a perfect example. What is going on here? This is an actual woodblock print from the 1860s. And what? The cynical viewpoint is he's phoning it in. The non-cynical viewpoint is he's trying to show this wide open expanse of plaza in the middle of Tokyo in a realistic way. I don't know. These are famous for this. The stick figures, all of whom are real people doing stuff. Somebody with an umbrella. It must be a really hot sunny day. The ladies have their umbrellas. The stick samurai, little stick people. It's good fun. It's normal. He's taken the time and trouble to do this. And then we have a football field. Look at this, with nobody in it. And no, the one idea is that this is designed as letter paper, and you would use it for writing your letters to your friends and stuff. No, this is not what that is. It's an actual series of prints, famous places in Tokyo. And I don't know which one this is. The writing is really, really stylistic, and I'm sorry, I'm supposed to know this, but I cannot read this. There was a few places in Tokyo like this. One was the parade grounds in Hibiya, which the military used. One was in Takaranobaba. There was a horse ground. It could be Takaranobaba. I'm not really sure. It doesn't seem to be Takaranobaba. I'm going to keep quiet. I don't know. I cannot read this. It's heavily stylized, and I cannot read it. But it's that kind of a place like Takaranobaba, where they did horse, exercises and stuff like that. Would you buy this print? And it's a mix. Some of them are normal. They're kind of nice. And it's very much sketchbook style. Someone's asking, is the paper tinted? No, the paper is a cheap paper that is old. Here you are. Here's the paper color itself, and this is now old junk paper. And inside the print, when you see something, this is now printed color. That's the paper itself. That's the paper color behind this. So even this sky has been printed a couple of times, based on plus clouds. And you can see these all the time. If you search for Hiroshige Edo Miyage, There was a set of them. I think there's 120 in the complete set. I'm not quite sure exactly. There was a set of them a while ago. It came up on Yahoo Auctions, and they went sky high because it's very rare to get a complete set. And the printing is careful. Look at this. You can see what they've done here in the background. See where this village is in the background. It's basically one block, but they've printed it twice. They've printed it in the gray color. And look here, see this? It's darker here, darker here, darker in blotches. So someone has come on with a second impression. He's just taken atenashi. He's taken his brush and gone bang, 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 bang to give a sort of random effect on this. So instead of being a flat background tone here, it's light gray, medium, dark, light, dark, light, dark. And it's printed twice to get that effect. Atenashi. And these are not expensive prints. Can I spell it out? Can I spell what out? Sugi-san, kanji どうですか？読めますか？僕全然読めないんですから。この場所は宝の馬場とかでもちょっと読めないですから。なんか読めますか？全部英語名称。
ああ、本当だ。上のなんて書いたんだこれ。なんとか園。上の恩賜公園のことかな。
じゃあ今上野公園の中にある場所？
ああ、そうかもしれないね。なんか公園って書いてあるから、
ありますね。そう。
あそこの上のだから忍ばずお城の後のあれかな、川が
上野じゃないでしょ。
ね、でも何にもなかった時、これ何？これ
atenashi. はいはい。そう、atenashi. You got it. Ate means ate is to hit. Normally we carve a block shape, but this means shapeless. So atenashi means you take your brush, you go boop, 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 here again, boop, 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 here, boop, 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 boop. So without defining the particular shape. If we had two of those prints side by side, go back to that same place. If I had two of these side by side, the black blobs would be in some slightly different shape. The guy probably had a standard pattern, go 1, 2, 3, skip 4, we'll go 5. But they wouldn't be exactly the same. They're a little bit shapeless. I'm sorry I can't read this. I should have done a bit of research while I opened it up, so I didn't have a chance to see what was in here. But the calligraphy is really stylized. I'm sorry. The printing is nice. The tone is nice. It's very common when we see these prints to be foxed, and I'm very happy this group is not foxed. Nani Terra. This one's a.
みんな上野ですか？
No, Tokyo. だから江戸名所。このものは何々寺でしょ？
妙法寺。
妙法寺。
妙法寺ってどこ？
聞いたことありますよ。妙法寺。タラン君が住んでるところ。タランさん、are you here? 妙法寺。Is that the temple near you? Okay, we have an ID. She was able to read it. Sugi-san read this one for me. 妙法寺。そう。This is next door to Taran-san. I was down there. It's the same.
堀之内、タラン君家の近く。
So. I was here just a few weeks ago, a couple months ago. I don't see Taran-san today. Anyway, this is the temple, Myohoji, down near where Taran is. But this is not great art. I mean, good grief, what has he done here? There's some sort of elevated stairway from one side of the temple to the other, a pine tree which is probably famous in the middle, and a bunch of people just walking around. Classic. He's got a bunch of characters he just keeps repeating again and again and again. It must be the characters he saw on the street outside him. A couple of grandmas with their canes, the samurai guy with his swords. He just copies and pastes them all over the place. Next one's classic. Good. Classic. This is what I'd like to be doing in the middle of the summer. trainee carvers could eat this up because there's no classic long flowing lines. This would be perfect work for trainee carvers. Not the first day on the job, but after a couple of weeks at this. このような作品は弟子でしょ。彫りの弟子ですね。あんまり細い長い線がないし、人間はパチパチパチの形でしょ。
あ、本当だ。本当だ。なんかみんな。
Another donut. So as I said, without being PR-ish about it, these are for our collection, but I think we've got a bunch of duplicates here. So we will be taking some of these and putting them into the flea market sometime next week or 2 weeks from now. Wanami-san will be doing it. So. What's going on there? Any ideas? What is that? We have some cards, clearly wheeled cards. What is that pile of stuff? Any hints? Looks like a motorcycle accident. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's fishing because this is the moat. This is the castle moat. So I don't think there's any commercial fishing going on in the castle. They're fun, they're fun. It's a cart for pulling stuff to show. I don't know. Mysteries of the Japanese woodblock print. それがさ、ごめん仕事し、この下にある、ちょっと見てください。笑うしかないよ。
何？
だから引っ張る、車でしょ？引っ張って。いやこれは何？
台車がねあるね。
じゃあ隣は何？
隣？なんだこれ
？She says, what's that?
なんだこれ？
なんでこれ？
何これ？
バイクの事故かな？
何が書いてあるのか？人が倒れてんの？そうじゃない。これでしょ？これ。
Oh, look at this! This lady's got her smartphone. It's Hanami.
Hanami.
This one. これは Hanami party. This guy's on. He's had his dinner. He's lying here with his smoke. These guys have got their dinner, and this lady, look at this smartphone. She's taking a picture.
スマートフォンがある。その時代に。不思議。よくわからない。
They are tasteful though, It's a real mix. It's a careless slapdash style, but the printing is so careful. These little mats, the registration is perfect. The numbers of detail. This is a cherry blossom area, and this lady here, she's got a brazier on a hot kettle. She's got some skewers here. These are bamboo skewers with fish. So she is selling skewered grilled fish along with hot sake. And she's got her buckets with her different food supplies in it. So this is a food vendor at the Hanami party area. There's so much detail with so few brush strokes. And a classic example, smartphone 1868. And this dude's had his dinner, he's chilled out with his pipe. Great fun, great fun, great fun. Okay, they're Hiroshige, I think they're 1868s, maybe 1870s, I don't remember. This is at the end of Edo. This is now into early Meiji. It's the end of an era. The old Tokyo is breaking up. The new Tokyo is coming. The foreigners are starting to come in. And this is sort of the last gasp for some of the old ukiyo-e art. Okay, there we go. Let's leave it like that. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're now at 9:30. Oh, it's getting a bit windy. The wind is blowing the camera. Look at that. The wind blew the camera cable. Just in time. 9:30, just in time. Okay. We're out of here then. 9:30. I'll be back here again in 2 more days, and I have a decision to make. I will either freeze my paper, and I will continue printing this on Monday for the next stream, or I will be moving on to the next work. Haven't decided what to do yet. No idea. The camera's out, so let's put it up. Okay, thanks so much, guys. I'll see you now in 2 more days. Thanks for watching. Hopefully some of this at least was a little bit interesting. The camera has a hissy fit, so bye for now. See you in 2 more days.